Well, good evening, family. This is Pastor Ren, and certainly I want to say thank you for your time. I want you to do something as I prepare to jump right into this 2023 vision focus. If you don't mind, if you can remove all distractions, I really need you, your family, if they're available, to come together and hear the plan, hear the vision, as well as hear my heart as we're preparing to go into 2023 together. We're actually planning to implement some of these things beginning this Sunday, December the 4th, and going into the new year. So if you don't mind, remove all distractions, get a pen, get some paper. Certainly you can go back and replay it, rewind it. And I know there'll be several questions you may have. We're going to attempt to answer some of those today. But all we don't, over the next several weeks, we will, as we have been meeting and planning for this time. Let me say this because it's right there. You see it. Our theme for 2023 is the year of refocus. The year of refocus. Pastor Ian, where do you get that from? Several weeks ago while in prayer, I heard the Holy Spirit speak to me as it relates to myself individually, as well as corporately for us. And it was by way of a question: how much further could you be if you refocus? And what I mean by refocus, as I begin to meditate on that, the word intentionality came out. Intentionality. How much further, think about this individually, could you be as it relates to your finances if you were intentional? As it relates to your faith if you were intentional? As it relates to your family? As it relates to your fitness? And then, of course, preparing for your future. If you and I were only intentional about it. And so for 2023, it's the year of refocus. It's our bedrock principles. We are committed to rebuilding, refocusing on our faith, our family, our finances, our fitness, and then our future. To that end, Pastor has made a decision through prayer and through counsel. I've decided that for 2023, I'm not accepting any engagements. I'm going to be totally committed to kingdom builders. What does that mean, Pastor? I won't be accepting any outside engagements on a Sunday or even during the week. Of course, homegoing services and funerals, that's a little bit different. You don't plan those. But we want to be here for kingdom builders. We're here for every major event in your life, and we want to recommit ourselves to building our faith, our family, our finances, our fitness, and our future. So going forward, Pastor is committed 100%. That only means you get a double dose of me 365 days of 2023. We're here, and we're committed to seeing this to the end. So that's our focus for 2023. We're changing our talk. We're changing our language beginning this Sunday. I've already begun it. Some of you have already can bear witness to it, where instead of just good morning, one of the things we're going to be doing when you see us is asking, good morning, what are you focusing on this week? Good morning. We get our hugs, our fist bumps, whatever you're comfortable with. But I'm challenging everybody. When we see each other, it's good morning or good evening. What are you focusing on this week? Good evening. What are you focusing on this day? We want to kind of make sure that we're keeping that at the forefront of our minds. I know psychologists say anytime we repeat a habit 21 days or do something 21 days consecutively, it becomes a habit. And I believe, according to scripture, that we're snared by the words of our mouth. We want to be confessing and speaking faith-filled words, not just at the beginning, but for the continuation, the duration of 2023. To that end, we're saying, good morning. What are you focusing on? Good evening. What are you focusing on? What are you rebuilding this week? For some, the answer is going to be simple. I'm rebuilding my faith. I'm refocusing on my family. I'm refocusing on my body, my health, and so on. So that's how we're greeting one another beginning this Sunday and all of 2023. We're not giving any place to the enemy to come in and set up doubt, disbelief in our minds, but we're going to keep that at the forefront. So our confession is changing. And then I want to say this, because we must, as kingdom builders, be intentional about our talk, be intentional about our time, be intentional about our talents, and be intentional about our treasures. Can I say that again? We must be intentional. Come on, there it is. About our talk, making sure we're saying what God says. Be intentional about our time. Who and where will we spend our time? We have to make a commitment and be intentional about our talents, the gifts that God has placed within us. He placed them there to benefit the body. I want you to think about this. The Apostle Paul says no one person is independent of themselves. He didn't give everybody everything. Some are the eye, some are the nose, some are the feet, the hand. Why is that important? It only means we all need each other. So whenever I, being the arm or being the leg or the foot, if I'm not available for my brother, they're missing something. Whenever you don't show up for something or you're not as actively involved, there's another part of the body that's missing that nourishment that only you can give, that only I can provide. And so I want to say we want to be intentional as we end 2022 and go into 2023 with our time, making sure we're making those investments into the kingdom. I believe that only what we do for Christ is going to last, but we're setting up or making deposits, not just for our account, but for our children, our grandchildren, and for others to come behind. And sometime they reap the benefits of the seeds that we've sown. So be intentional with your time. We're in service usually twice a week, Sundays and Wednesdays. And on Sundays, it's usually around 8, about 9 o'clock, 2 hours. On a Wednesday, whenever we have First Wednesday at the Kingdom, it's usually about an hour and a half at best. So think about that. That's not even 10% of a day. It's less than 10% of our week. And I want to challenge us as kingdom builders to recommit ourselves, in some cases, commit ourselves to not only giving God the bare minimum, but making sure we go above and beyond, because it's not just about us. It's about those that are connected to us. So we want to make sure that, you know how I say, if I'm on time, I'm late. But if I'm before time, I'm on time. So I want to challenge you, as I've done with the leaders, and that is, if worship begins at 9 a.m., make a commitment to being in service by 8:30. If worship begins at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday, make a commitment to being there by 6:30. What does that mean, Pastor? I value and I place high regard on the house of God and the things of God, because even at my job, naturally speaking, if I have to be there at 6 a.m., I'm usually there about 5 a.m. If you have to be to work at 8 a.m., I'm sure you're probably there by 7:30, 7:45 at the latest, and so on. Why? I want to make sure that I'm not just there on time, but I'm there before time. And I want us to make sure that we hold the house of God and the things of God in higher regard than just our natural jobs. It's our resource, but God has always been and always will be our source. So we're going to be intentional with our time, our talent, our talk, and then our treasures. I want to encourage everybody to get connected and stay connected. Come on, I want you to see that. There's some Kingdom Covenant groups, whether it's the Successfully Single, whether it's Kingdom Men, whether it's WOW, the Women of Worth, or our One-Way Teens, or our Kingdom Kids, or it's our Couples Fellowship. I want to encourage everybody to get connected and stay connected. How do I get connected? I want you to write this email address down. Make sure you email us so that we can put your information in our database, because this is the way we want to continue to communicate even as we move forward. Thank you to those that have already done it. But if we don't have your email address, there's some information you may be missing. There's some dates and things that you may be missing because we don't have you in our database. But email your information, your name, if you can, your date of birth. You don't have to put the year, but your date of birth, your phone number, cell phone, preferably, or if you have a home phone or landline, But your email address, your name, date of birth, if you're married, your anniversary, your children's date of birth. Again, you don't have to put the year, just the date, so that we can make sure that we're honoring you during that month. We have that information, but also it helps us to be able to communicate. So email your email address to info. There it is right there. INFO, info at kingdombuildersbirmingham.com. Come on, I want to leave it up there for you. Email it to that email address so that we can have it in our database. This is the best way of us communicating. Also, you can text this number. If you don't get the weekly text, the weekly nuggets and updates, even on Sundays, text KBB to 54244. Come on, there it is. Text KBB to 54244. It's a way where you can stay in our database, and when those text messages go out, sometimes God give us a nugget and we'll shoot it to the media team to send it out. And oftentimes we give out a nugget. Well, we want to do it that way so that it get to everybody in a more efficient way. So make sure, if you're not getting our text, to text KBB to 54244. Not only that, in getting connected, we have our Facebook. Come on, I want you to see it. Kingdom Builders Birmingham. Take some time after this, or if you can do it while you're on here, go to Kingdom Builders Birmingham. I want you to see the screen. I want you to see it there. Go there and make sure you like the page. Go to our YouTube channel. It's Kingdom Builders Birmingham, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's a lot of content that we put out there, and that's a way where you can communicate with us. You can stay abreast as to what's going on. You can get those daily nuggets, and then you can stay connected. I believe that the content is going to add value to your life. So make sure, there it is on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Kingdom Builders Birmingham. Not only are we asking you to like the Facebook page, but go ahead. If you're not connected on the members page, go ahead so that we can send an invite to you. Let us know. Come on, there's the members page right there. There's the profile picture for the members page. We want to connect with you. This is where we have our Monday night prevailing prayer every Monday night at 7:00 p.m., where I'm leading prayer. Minister Jim is leading prayer. Minister Gail is leading prayer, or Minister Lewis. And then there are others that jump in occasionally and lead prayer. It's an opportunity for us to go before God on Motivational Monday. But that one is designed just for the members, where we can still email prayer requests to info at Kingdom Builders Birmingham, or you can text prayer requests to 205-862-8970. Come on, that information is right there, and we'll leave it up there for you. But I want to make sure that you are not only getting connected, but you're staying connected. And this is how we're communicating. And we want to make sure that you stay in the loop. If you're not, or if you haven't visited our website, make sure you visit. There it is there. www.kingdombuildersbirmingham.com. Make sure you check the website out. Sister Latoya, who's over the media, does such a wonderful job with our website, maintaining it and updating it daily and weekly, making sure that everything is relevant, everything is in real time. Make sure you go there and check it out. There's events that come up, and we put that on the website, and we want to make sure that you don't miss anything. Now, let me say this, Kingdom Builders. I want to put my pastoral hat on, because it's our job to be prepared. It's our job to make sure that we're giving the information. But then it becomes your job to make sure you go get the information. I liken it to a mom or mother that prepares the food and sets it on the table. There may be multiple kids in the family. You can tell the one that shows up to eat versus the one that walks by the table, but because it's not something that they like, they keep on moving. Over a period of time, one will be nourished and the other one will be malnourished. Well, it's the same way in the kingdom. When we prepare meals on Sundays, when we prepare nuggets, when we prepare through Kingdom Connection groups, It's going to be your responsibility to carve out the time to get to where the table is. I want to say that again. It's our responsibility to be prepared. It's our responsibility to prepare ourselves to be able to bless you. But as we're preparing ourselves, there's a responsibility you have, and that is to carve out time to make it your business to get to where the food is so we can eat together. That's important because as we transition into 2023, we may not have the time to call you personally. We may not have the time to call you or text you individually. And so we're trying our best to put content out, and we've got so many avenues, whether it's group meet, whether it's the group text, whether it's the website or email. We're trying to get that information out to you in a timely manner. But understand, my responsibility is to make sure I'm getting it. So in the event you miss a service, make sure you're connected with somebody that can share the information with you. In the event you miss a service, make sure you're jumping on the website. You're going back, looking at the videos. You're checking the Kingdom News out. You're looking at the recaps and the previews so that you can get the information and then stay in the loop. I want to say it again. We may not have the time to call or text individually, but it's your responsibility to reach out to somebody and make sure that you are staying connected and in the loop. Would you do that for me? Come on, would you do that for me? Thank you so much. Not only that, I want to say this, that there's a copy Sister Matthews will have this Sunday on the table. If your birthday or anniversary is not on there, stop by there, look at that to see, write it down. Make sure you email it first, but you can write it down there. We'll make sure we get it updated. And that's this Sunday. She'll have that there. I want to say this as it relates to our stewardship and giving. Thank God for every kingdom covenant partner. Thank God for every kingdom builder. I want to say that again. Thank God for every kingdom covenant partner. We could not have done what we've done this year without your financial support and without your giving. I want to show you now, we have four ways of giving, and that's going to be on the screen right there for you. I want you to see this. Come on, look at this. Those that want to screenshot it, go ahead and do it, but I want you to check this out. Look at the 4 ways of giving. Now, family, I know you're looking at it, but I want to say this while you're watching that, while you're looking at that, while you're screenshotting that. That's there because it's always been that way. Come back here. I want you to see this. So what we're doing, Pastor, we are committed to being a church that believes in tithing. I believe it with all of my heart that 10% of all of my increase belong to God. Come on, I need you to say it. 10% of all of my increase belongs to God. I don't give it because I have to. I don't give it because I'm forced to, but I give it because I want to. It's not just an act of my obedience to God, but what it says to God is, you can trust me with more. And God trusts me enough to give me the ability and the opportunity to return back to him what he gave me. So what do you mean, Pastor Ren? When you look at our envelope, our tithing envelope looks like this, where it says, I will win with 10. I want to say that again. I will win with 10. Talking about the 10%. I'm not sure if you've ever looked at the back of the envelope, but on the back it says, when I tithe and give offerings, it brings reverence to Christ. We're honoring Christ. Before I pay the light bill, I'm honoring Christ. I'm saying to God, I place you high above everything else as it relates to my finances. When we tithe, look at what happened. It brings resources to the church. Your giving, your tithing helps us not just to keep the lights on, not just to keep it warm in the winter, not just to keep it cool in the summer, but it helps us to do meaningful outreach and ministry and other things and endeavors we seek to get involved in. Everything we've done for the last 8 years has been because of the faithful support of each one of you. And I want to say again, thank you, because none of it would have been possible without your support. So it brings resources to the church. Not only that, it brings rewards to my house. For the Bible says in Malachi 3:10-12, see if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you don't have room to receive. So tithing works. We are a church that believes in giving God 10% of all of our increase. If you have a job, 10% belongs to God. If you own a business, 10% belongs to God. And we don't play about that. We are serious when it comes to the dime. Not because we have to, but because we want to. And I want to see my church advance and do more, not just in the kingdom, but in my community. So I want to challenge you. For some of us, it's recommitting to tithing. For others, it's committing to tithing. And then there are others that will continue to tithe. Not only do we tithe, but the Bible tells us every time we come into his house to bring an offering. What is that, Pastor? It's what I give out of love. He's already told me in his word that 10% belongs to him. So if I made $1,000, 100 belongs to God. Out of the 900 I have left, I give God an offering. And an offering is just that. It's what you want to offer up to God. And we do it with an attitude of gratitude. I want to say that because we're introducing or reintroducing something that we've done before. You've seen this Kingdom Covenant Partners envelope that looked like this. And while we're still doing this, it's on our regular envelope. We decided instead of having multiple envelopes, everything is right there. It says tithe, offering, 2020 vision, and then pastor's love. So what does that mean, Pastor? What 2020 vision is, God gave this to us a couple of years ago, and that is where we have 20 people that would give $20. And we did that. We talked with the board several months ago, and they said, Pastor, why not make it an even number that will help? And we went through everything and crunched some numbers. And what we've come up with was we want to ask 25 people that will commit to giving $25 every Sunday. I want you to hear me. 25 people that will give $25 every Sunday. That goes toward 2020 vision. This is not in place of my tithe. This is in addition to my tithe and my offering. It's over and above. 25 people that will commit to $25 weekly. What does that do, Pastor? What's the purpose? If 25 people will give $25 weekly, that pays our mortgage every month, which means it frees up tithe and offerings to do ministry. Over the last year, we've had some up and down years, weeks and days where we had to take from the tithe and the offering to assist with the mortgage. And that's something we don't want to do. You know, those that have your homes, you have that operating account, you have your savings, and you have your emergency fund. And some people are just at one right now. But I promise you, if you stay faithful there, God will open up doors and avenues where you can have the savings and the emergency fund and so forth. Well, as a ministry, we don't want to just look at the now. We want to make sure that our infrastructure is sound and strong, and we're looking at the future. So we don't want to continue to dip in tithe and offering and what's been assigned and designated for ministry to operate, to take care of the mortgage. And it's something that God gave us a few years ago, and it was working. And we, over the period of time, just stopped talking about it. But several of you have continued to give. And I want to say thank you. Thank you so much, especially to our mothers that are consistently giving toward it. Thank you. And I want to say to all of us, as we're awakening that back up, as we're reintroducing that, every Sunday, beginning this Sunday, we need 25 people that will commit to giving $25. Even if it's not my week to pay tithe. Pastor, I'm giving my offering. I'm giving my $25 because we want to make sure that the mortgage is taken care of out of that, which is 2020 vision. In the old church, they called it building fund. Well, at Kingdom Builders, we call it 2020 vision. And that's what it is. It's where we come together and say, this is set aside just for our mortgage. And I want to challenge you. For somebody that says, Pastor, I'm giving my tithe, I'm giving my offerings, I need you to pray with me that God will increase me so that I can do that. I'm telling you, I'm going to be in faith with you. I believe this with all of my heart, that we don't have a money issue. In most cases, it's a faith issue. And that's why I want to tell you, I'm going to do everything I can through prayer and preparation time with the word to make sure that we're building your faith, because I need kingdom builders to have faith to run over and not fear of running out. So I want to speak to your heart. Make a commitment. Pray about it if you're married. How can we do this? And if you're open-minded, God will show you ways in which you can be a blessing to the kingdom. So I want to challenge you to do that. And we're going to let you know each week how we've done and where we are with our 2020 vision. Lastly, we're going to reintroduce it again. Our pastor's love. Those of you that know me, you know how I feel about talking about tithing, talking about offering, and especially talking about pastor's love. But the Apostle Paul says, I did you a disservice because I did not allow you to sow back into my life. That's what the Apostle Paul says. He's talking to the church and he says, I did you a disservice because even when there was opportunities for you to give, I refused it. And God wanted you to give so that it would be added to your account. Let me say this to you, because I give to my pastor. I believe in sowing into the man and woman of God's life. Every time I've done it, I've gotten a speedy return. And to those of you that do it and have done it over the years, I pray that you can testify that God has always come through and I've gotten an unusual return on my giving. I don't do it so that I can get something. I do it because it connects me to that word. And then it also lets God know that I appreciate the gift. And it says to pastor, I'm behind you. So I want to challenge you. You'll hear others talk about this, but on the third Sunday of every month, it's going to be an opportunity after tithe and offering. You know how I feel about it. Never give to your pastor and first lady until you first give to God. But after tithe and offering, you'll hear different ones speak about Pastor's Love Sunday. It will be every third Sunday, and there are envelopes that look like this that says Pastor's Love Offering. If you don't see these envelopes, there's what we call Pastor's Love on your tithe and offering envelope, where you can just put that there, and the finance team will make sure that pastor and the first family gets that. I'm saying it to you because I know it's right. And I can't just teach part of the Bible without teaching the entire Bible. And I want you to be blessed in every area of your life. So it's an opportunity that's going to be made available. Now, let me pause and say this. Thank you to each one that have not stopped giving to Pastor's Love. They give me a report weekly to know exactly what we're doing or how we're doing financially. And every time I look there, somebody has given toward Pastor's Love. Thank you. Because it does bless me and my family, and I don't take that for granted. So I want to challenge you. What amount should we give, Pastor? That's between you and God. It's whatever you want to do. It's the value you place on the gift, and then others, as they lead in that effort, they may give instructions as to what they would like you to do. I want to say this to you. You do the very best you can. Can I say that again? You do the very best that you can. And I believe if you do it from a cheerful and willing place, God will honor the seed that you sow. So that's our commitment when it comes to that. So how do we give, Pastor? Beginning Sunday, we're going to be systematic givers. They're what we call spontaneous givers. And then there's what we call sacrificial givers. Systematic giving is where I give weekly or whenever I get paid monthly. It's just automatic. I got it set up on Givelify to automatically come out. It's set up on Text to Give to automatically come out. It's a systematic thing. I'm not going to ever lack in that area because I have a system in place. That's where we want to strive to be if we're not there. That's what you call spontaneous giving. You've seen it before where the word is being ministered or taught and God will just quicken something in somebody's spirit. They'll pull their phone out and they'll cash app the man of God or the woman of God, or they'll take money and put it up there. When God awakens something, maybe it's a revelation that God gives, or it's confirmation on something. That's spontaneous giving. I do that often when somebody gives me a word or a word of encouragement and something quickens in my spirit. I'll text somebody and say, what's your cash app? When I see them, I'll place something in their hand. That's spontaneous giving. It happened throughout the New Testament. And then there's sacrificial giving. Sacrificial giving is what we do over and above our tithe. It's when we're saying we're working on this project in the church and we need your help. That's sacrificial giving. It's when we get ready for first fruit season in the year of 2023. That's sacrificial giving. And God honors sacrificial giving. Can I say this? Even in giving to your pastor, that's not a mandate. That's sacrificial giving. And God always honors that. So I want to say that to you. We're not only going to be systematic, but my prayer is that spontaneous or the spirit of spontaneity breaks out throughout Kingdom Builders in every area of our lives, so that we do things not just systematically, but we're spontaneous when the Spirit hits us. And then also we're committed sacrificially. Let me say this, Kingdom Builders. We are recommitting ourselves to community outreach. We're recommitting ourselves to in-reach, meaning there's some things that's going to take place in the upcoming year that's just for the members. But then there are also going to be some things that will take place that's just for the community. And when that time comes, we need everybody to be on board. We're preparing now because in the month of February, it's our Heritage Month. I'm not sure which way we're going to go with it. We'll share that information in the next few weeks. But Heritage Month is in the month of February. Easter is coming up upon us. And I can't wait to share some good news. As a matter of fact, as it relates to our youth department and teams, we'll be sharing some great news and exciting news this Sunday. So you need to make sure you're in the place and you'll get directions even about Easter for 2023. July this upcoming year is going to be Family Month. I'm going to be getting with Sister LaToya. We've already talked about it. And in-person worship will only be the first Sunday in July. Come on, I want you to see it. July the 3rd will be our only in-person worship in July. Well, Pastor, what are we going to do? We're still going to do ministry. Kingdom Covenant, Kingdom Connection groups will still go forth. There'll be things that we'll do throughout the month, outreach. But as far as meeting inside of the church, for church, we will not have but one service. It's on July the 3rd. And on that Sunday, we're going to give big. Listen to me. We're going to give big, not just inside, but we have a major opportunity. And I can't share it now, but I'll share it in the next few weeks, where we're going to give big to someone inside of the church. It's going to bless you. And it's going to be a chance for all of us to get involved as we continue to unveil that, what we're planning to do. I'm excited about 2023. And I want to say this to you because God shared several other things with me, but for time's sake, I'll pause right there. And I'll give a part 2 to this, but I'll pause right there and say, how much further could you be financially if you was just intentional? If you just focused on saving more? How much further could your family be? Stronger could you be if you focus more on your family? How much more in shape or healthy could you be if you focus more on your health, your fitness? How much more focused could you be in your faith if you just focused on it? And of course, how much further and focused could we be if we had taken the time and just strategically and intentionally focused on our future? That's where we are. We're removing all distractions and we are refocusing on our faith, our family, our finances, our fitness, and our future. Every message you will hear from January 1 until December the 31st, 2023, will either talk about faith, family, finances, fitness, and or future. We're going to be teaching in series, and the ministers that will help us minister the word, when we're in a certain series, they're going to minister in that series so that all of us are talking the same thing and we're living out the vision right before our eyes. I'm excited. Can I say this to you? I see you in the future, and you look much better than you do right now. I love each one of you, and I can't wait to share part 2 of 2023, the vision. It's going to come in just a few days, but we're gearing up now for this Sunday. Let's keep building the kingdom, KBB, one person at a time. Let's build.